John Worrell, how you doing?
Good to see you, War.
Good seeing you. Let's get right at it. John Harbaugh yesterday talked about saying he had a I guess off the field kind of conversation or a few conversations with you, and he said he liked your, how did he put it, the how you came up the hard and underestimated road. What do you recall from that conversation? Where did it happen, and what might you be able to share about what you know about John?
Yeah, I believe it was at Augusta last year at the Masters. And this was after we played them, and I got into a little scuffle on the sideline, and it was my rookie year. And I got up and I started chirping at him and talked to him after that, and he just liked how I got up and I didn't just take it from anybody. And I think I saw him this offseason at the Super Bowl and just got to talk to him a little bit more in there. Obviously, after the game we played last year. But, I mean, he's a coach that I have a lot of respect for. I think a lot of people around the league have a lot of respect for him, just how consistent he's been as their head coach, the things that people say about him. And, it's never a bad thing. He's just one of those coaches that his players love playing for him. And, again, I've got the utmost respect for him and really for their team in general. They've been lights out all year. And even going back to last year, they've got one of the best defenses out there. And then on offense, obviously, you got the former MVP in Lamar, and he's as explosive as any player to ever play the game. And when you got those two things, it's a tough team to be dealt with.
I completely forgot about that. You really didn't show any, as the old folks put it, guff when you got thrown into that sideline.
Yeah, that was I believe that was my rookie year.
It was your first game.
My first game, yeah. So I've changed a lot since then. My mannerisms and my temper is a little different than it was back in the day. I play a little differently now. So, yeah. But I don't forget those days, and they help me get to where I am.
In that sense, I mean, you haven't lost that competitive nature, but you've kept it inside. Is that fair to say? More within, as opposed to being, showing your emotions on your sleeve in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can say that. I'm just so focused on trying to do my job and trying to be the best quarterback for the Buffalo Bills that I can be, and don't really let the outside noise and distractions and all of that stuff distract me too much and bother me too much. So I'm just trying to be focused on what I can do for this team.
And last thing, because I was intrigued by that, by your first response, but you're tight with Sam Darnold. How tight are you with Lamar Jackson as far as another guy who's in that draft class?
No, I mean, Lamar, like I tell this to everybody I talk to about him, he is one of the greatest dudes you can be around. He really is. And then for him to kind of have the adversity of coming out the first year and people doubted him, and then to go out and explode on the scene last year and just to be this dynamic quarterback. And, I mean, you see it, the impact that he makes in his communities on Instagram and stuff like that. He's just one of those special guys that obviously they've been having success. He's had a lot of success so far early in his career. And, I root heavily for him, just knowing what he went through his first year and how he's been able to do it and how humble and how awesome he is off the field. He's just one of those guys you root for, and it's hard to not root for him when you're playing against him. But, we're enemies on Saturday, and we both know that. But, I mean, he's just one of those guys, again, I can't say enough about just how good of a dude he is. It makes you love him that much more on the field.
Thanks so much, Josh.
Thank you.
Hi, Josh. Rich Donnelly from Channel 10 in Rochester. In a historic season, history is made on a league-wide level with you this week. I believe for the first time ever, you, Baker, and Lamar will be the first-round draft picks from the same draft class to play in the divisional round of the playoffs. I'm curious what you remember about your interactions with both of those guys prior to being on an NFL team during the pre-draft process.
Yeah, well, I played in the Senior Bowl with Baker, and I got to spend some time with him there. And obviously just kind of some of the draft stuff leading up to it, after the rookie premieres and all that stuff, getting to hang with both those guys. And they're, again, both great guys that you love being around, just know how to be dudes and hang out with the dudes. And, I can't say much more about that. It's just they're special on the field too. You see that. And it's a cool class to be a part of for sure.
Your first game, I don't think either you or Lamar maybe have thought that you would be thrust into that game at halftime like you were. How much do you think you guys have each grown as people and players since that first game?
I mean, just myself, just understanding my offense more, seeing defenses better, trusting the guys on the field, and obviously Lamar, he's former MVP. But enough said there.
Great. Thank you very much, Josh. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, Sal Majorano over here in Rochester. If I kind of want to follow back on what Rich was going there. Do you appreciate the history quasi-history, I guess, of what's going on this weekend? All these young quarterbacks in the AFC, 3 of them from the same class. Do you appreciate your role in this changing of the guard maybe at the quarterback position in the NFL?
I mean, that doesn't affect me, or I don't really care about that too much. I'm just trying to be the best quarterback for the Bills that I can be. Really, and it's cool. It's cool. But our attention, my attention's towards the Ravens and trying to figure out how we can put our best foot forward.
Okay, and then if I could follow that, then the game last year, how much can you take from what happened in that game? How you guys played them? What their defense, a lot of blitzing that they did. Can you use any of that tape to learn, for this game coming up?
I think so. Yeah. I've already watched it. It's a tough watch. I didn't play particularly well last year in that game. Just a couple boneheaded mistakes. And they got after us. And this is a team that if they get momentum on their side, they're scary. Obviously, they got quite a few big name players over there, and they play their scheme extremely well. And then again on offense, what they're able to do with how explosive they are, it's one of those games where you got to capitalize on your opportunities to score, 1, and 2, you got to hold on to the football and not make any mistakes and give them any easy ones because, you saw it in last week's game. Lamar can go at any time, and so we got to force them to stay back and play the long field possession game and be smart on offense and, like I said, score when we get the chances.
Okay, thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Matt Bove here. We talked a lot last week about what you learned in Houston, and you said you learned not to press and kind of the different things you walked us through that, you learned in that game. I was wondering, what did you learn in your first playoff win?
I think it just kind of reiterated that whole point, starting off slow and just kind of trying to find our groove, getting into a groove, not trying to get too high, not trying to get too low, just sticking with the game plan and just trying to go out there and execute every given play call. And like I said, not get ourselves in great positions every play, but try to get us out of the bad situations that we have. And our team did a good job of that. This last week, our defense played lights out. We didn't turn the ball over, which is key. There was one opportunity where they had, but Darrell Williams got on top of it, and really, in my opinion, that's to play the game. So, just again, the field position, ball security type aspect of the game is huge in these playoff games because every possession counts.
Thanks, Josh. Appreciate you.
Dr. Josh, Mookie Hawkins, Waffle Sports 1080. How's it going, man?
Good, Mook. Good to see you.
Absolutely, man. And we know, winning at a high level takes a certain kind of focus. And back in October, we talked about having that Mamba mentality, wanting it more than anybody. So what are some of the things that, you'll be doing to rediscover that hunger this week?
Again, it's win or go home. It's playoff football. It's only getting tougher from here. And we've got a great opponent coming into Buffalo, chance to, again, play in front of our fans. I know there's only 7,000 of them, but it's still 7,000 Bills fans. So just getting that opportunity. I love this game. I love playing this game. And the more opportunities I get to play this game is what I want to do. So giving us another shot. But again, our first goal is to win this one. And if we don't, we're going home. And, it's never a good feeling, especially losing at home. So, I think everybody in this locker room is completely focused on the task at hand right now.
Absolutely, man. And I'm not sure that, you know this or not, but, around the corner from Children's Hospital is a place called Allentown. They changed the name to Josh Allentown. I'm not sure if you knew that or what your thoughts, but what would be your message to Bills Mafia this week, Josh?
Message is Honestly, if you're in the stands, be safe, be loud, be proud. It's going to be a tough one, and we gotta go do everything we can do to secure this one. And again, I continue to say this: if you don't win, it doesn't matter. Everything that we've done this year. So our goal is to win it. And again, the Ravens are coming in; they're one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. We know that. We understand that. They got the same mindset as well.
Absolutely, man. Good luck this week, Josh.
Hey, Josh, Thad Brown. It seems like this Ravens defense is about a complete 180 from what you saw last week with the Colts. Do you think that's fair to say? And what are the differences that really stand out to you going from Indy to Baltimore?
This is a team like Indianapolis didn't pressure a whole bunch and played some zone behind it. This is a team that typically wants to bring some pressure. They're one of the heaviest pressure teams in the NFL. So again, our protection plan's got to be spot on. Excuse me. I got to be smart with the football and putting it in the right position for our guys to make the most out of their opportunities. It's a team that you got Peters outside and Humphreys that are extremely, extremely good at punching the ball out. So that's a point of emphasis this week. And again, their front, 4 or 5 guys, they rotate quite a few guys that are really good football players. So we got to be ready for everything they can throw at us and stick to our rules and try to execute a game plan.
You talked about the ball security thing a couple times. Are you aware of how, the Ravens have had something like 60 fumbles in their games this year? It's some, huge number. Is that something that's been obviously a huge point of, being aware that the ball is going to be on the ground at some point and to be ready for that kind of stuff?
Well, yeah. And again, we practice ball security drills every week. But just having that added emphasis this week and seeing how these guys punch the ball out. They're tenacious at it. They're really good at it. Obviously, the results speak for themselves. But a team that they're trying to create turnovers and trying to create short fields, they've been doing a good job of it. So we got to, keep that thought in the back of our heads when our guys are running the ball. And again, like you said, our linemen chasing the ball and be ready for anything, if that ball pops out and bearded.
Josh, appreciate it.
Hey, Josh, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. Good to see you. The video last week of you guys dancing at practice, I think it was Hammer was playing, it certainly got a lot of attention. I thought, it sort of showed, the way that you're able to kind of stay loose at a time when, these games are getting more pressure packed and, there's a lot, I think there's a lot that's being put on the organization in terms of, you're the number 2 seed, you're looked at as favored. There's been a lot of expected of the team. How do you deal with that pressure, and how are you able to stay loose and have fun and maybe not, think about it too much, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we don't feel that pressure. This team, like I said, we're focused at the task at hand, and that's the Baltimore Ravens and Saturday night. We love each other. We love playing this game. At the end of the day, it is a game, so we love having fun. But our guys work extremely hard in practice because they don't want to let each other down. And the type of atmosphere that's been built here in Buffalo, it really is family-like. And I can honestly say I love all my guys here. And like I said, when I'm on the field, I'm playing for those guys as much as anybody that I'm playing for. So that's really the mindset I think of most, if not everybody on the team. We're going out there and we're playing this for each other and trying to win football games. But we're having fun doing it too.
Yeah. Does that go to what Sean talks a lot about, being the best version of yourself when you come here? He uses that phrase quite a bit.
Yeah. And he's constantly saying, let your emotions show and be who you are. And, that's why he's one of the best coaches in the league, obviously, and why we've had some success here, and we got to continue to build on it. And but guys aren't afraid to be themselves here. We're okay with having fun, and winning's fun, losing's not, and we understand that. So at the same time, there's that balance in between there, where we got to find a way to be serious at most of the times and let loose when we can.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
How's it going, Vic?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. Josh, you have talked quite a bit about, because I know you're asked quite a bit about the whole let the game come to you, don't try to do too much thing. And, again, mainly because we're asking those questions. But I wanted to ask you, though, because you're clearly succeeding at that mindset, what is it like to kind of get yourself in this place, given how well, consistently you individually have been playing to not say, you know, I don't have to do it all type of thing. Like I can rely on others. And I'm not saying you're not doing that, but we notice your numbers and your success. It just feels like you could easily drift to that point of saying, I'll get it done myself. How do you balance that?
I mean, again, it's the trust factor that I've developed with my guys and skill players and the 5 guys up front of blocking and making sure that I'm protected. And I understand that, you know, I want the ball in those guys' hands as much as they do, you know, for them to make moves and you know, they get paid to have the ball in their hands. So that's really my mindset, is just try to make the right play for this offense, continue to move the chains on third down and score when the opportunity presents itself. And our guys have been doing a good job of getting open and making plays after the catch. Our front 5 blocking, our running backs running the ball hard. So it's really that simple. Just trying to be the best version of myself, like Coach McDermott always preaches, and the best quarterback for this Bills team I can be.
And just to follow up to that, what Jay was asking about, you know, you mentioned keeping the pressure low throughout. Does it expand also to your thought? You mentioned some lights out defense in this last game too. Your trust that if it doesn't work for you or the offense the way you want it to, that unit can pick up slack.
For sure. And again, it goes back to the not pressing, not forcing balls, not turning the ball over, making right decisions, whether it's a check down or a deep throw. Just trying to make the right decision for this offense, trying to end every possession in a punt, and understand that our defense has been able to get the job done. They've at a consistent level, and we don't expect that to stop anytime soon. And but again, we can help them as much as they can help us.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, just quickly on Cole. I know you shouted him out after the game, and Sean mentioned yesterday that he should be good to go. How important is that slot guy, especially, you know, Cole, who's so much more than that, in a game like this against a team that, like you mentioned, blitzes the way that it does?
I mean, it's very important. Just a guy that can create quick, short burst separation like that. You know, those guys don't come around too often, and we've, in my opinion, got the best one in the league. But just the outlook that he brings, he sees things that I don't see, and he's able to get into windows and zones and be that outlet for me. So, you know, it'll be important to have him. He's one of the best, you know, like I said, if not the best slot receiver in the game, and you know, he's a big asset for this team.